You too.
Yes, that's what it looks like when I was expecting the music to end earlier, and how awkward my face is right now. Welcome, Comedy Snacks, May 21st. Thank you for joining us. We got a very cool show today for you. We have a bunch of local talent and one not so local comedians, which I'm excited to hear about. So before we jump into the show, because this is just a half an hour show, it's really quick. It's kind of the comedy snack to fill you, a feast upon it, but I'll just discuss a couple things I've been thinking about recently while stuck here. One of them is, I'm just to talk about my childhood. It wasn't the best. I personally grew up in a broken home. So broken, like we never even used family-size items. Like we couldn't even purchase family-size cereal, family-size chips and such. Like it was just brutal. If you ask me, I just wish they bought the family-size condoms. That would have been a lot better. Cell phones. Oh my God. So cell phones have been super expensive. I'm looking at these new ones. I'm holding on to my old one for so long just because of these prices. Soon cell phone contracts are just going to be as long as parents' responsibility, an 18-year contract just to sign up for the new line of iPhone. But honestly, these days, it's so important. Like if I saw a baby and a cell phone falling at the same time, look, it would have to be a 7S or higher. I'm not a monster, but I have to weigh the pros and cons of these to really fully flesh it out. Like if you think about it, like here in Canada, we have free healthcare, but not free Apple Care. That shit is expensive. So babies can heal. My phone has had the same cracks in it, at least now for a couple of years. So that's a huge one too. Another thing, babies, they just can't order me skip the dishes like my phone can. That's a pretty important one. Another one, as far as I know, only my phone can send dick pics to your DMs. I can't get the baby to do that yet. And I guess lastly, shaking my phone doesn't break it. So, that's just and there's nothing more depressing than flipping your phone over and seeing that cracked screen. Like I could use my foot, I guess, to soften the blow of the baby and catch the phone with my hand. So that's a good way to do it. And also, if you need a babysitter, I'm looking for work. So hopefully, I've just hit what you need and my resume works out. All right, that's enough from me and my depressing early family life and what I think of babies and phones. To get us started here, we have 4 great comics tonight. My first one, Sarah Stupar. She is right now streaming from Cranbrook, BC. She has an article. Just if you look in the comments, there's a link to an article that she recently wrote. Super awesome. But I'm going to throw it over to Sarah here as we go forward. Thank you, Sarah.
Hi. Let's see. There's 6 people watching. Hey. Sasha, your friend Anina's in the chat. She says hello. Because Sasha's not chatting. I'm a pro at Zoom now, so I try to get in the chat and talk, on the video, because I can multitask. No, I can't multitask. I can't even talk. And anyway, okay, let's tell some jokes. So I'm in Cranbrook. It's true. I would love if everyone would check out the article that I wrote about what it's like to be quarantined in Cranbrook. So I've been doing a lot of hiking. Cranbrook is in the East Kootenays in the Rocky Mountains. So really awesome for hiking. And by hiking, I mean getting super high and just wandering around in the forest. That's actually what I mean by hiking. Rich people like to buy fancy Columbia sportswear gear, and that's what makes it hiking. But I'm just wearing camo pants and a high vis toque and just getting super baked walking around. That's how you know you're a hillbilly and not a hiker, just so everyone knows. I live on a golf course which is pretty cool. So my backyard goes out into a golf course. It's really neat living on a golf course. I've really learned how the people in this town are super shitty golfers. There's always people in my backyard looking for their fucking golf balls. Like people are really, really bad at golf. It's crazy. I don't really get golf. Seems like it could be okay, I guess. I think I might be I could try golf because it's like, especially around here, all the golf courses are like in the forest, so, you know, since you're walking around in the trees and like the nature, it's very nice. But I think like instead of like hitting the white ball, I'd rather just like get high. Anyway. I've been doing a lot of online shopping, so, you know, hit me up in the chat if you can relate. I've been trying to find yoga pants, and the other day I found this ad for a company called Sweaty Betty. So it's like, oh, check out the Sweaty Betty yoga pants. And their website is all about how they're into like empowering women, which I thought is very admirable. So I checked it out. Turns out they're based in London, and their yoga pants are like 95 pounds, which works out to about $160 Canadian for a pair of empowering yoga pants. I was like, Jesus, like what are these pants better like provide childcare? They better like proofread my resume. Like for $160, I want to see results, you know, like real empowerment. I'm about to go back to work. It sounds like I have to go back to work next week, which, you know, is fine. My job's fine, but what is even better than working is getting paid to not work. It's kind of awesome. I work in construction. Like I work with construction crews, and I really like it. Actually, it's weird to be a woman in construction, but I actually like really prefer it to working in an office, because in an office there's like all that HR and you have to be politically correct. And like my favorite part about construction is when you don't like someone, you just tell them to fuck off. It's perfect. Like I always thought if I had to work in an industry like completely surrounded by men and was going to choose between like sex work and construction, I pick construction, because in sex work you have to pretend like you like men. So how do you guys feel about outrage culture? It's weird. Outrage culture is weird, but you notice that like everyone has their own thing that they're triggered by, right? So like you see other people get triggered by stuff and you're like, that's so dumb. But then like something weird happens and you get like super triggered. It turns out for me, my big trigger is married women dancing to All the Single Ladies by Beyonce. I did a show and they played that, and like everyone in the show but me was married, and they all were out there and they were like, if you like it, then you should have put a ring on it. And I was like, your fingers literally have rings on them. Sit the fuck down. That's just me. Okay. What else? So I live in a small town. Cranbrook is a very small town. It's about 20,000 people, and it's actually the biggest town in the Kootenays, which is very strange. And living in these towns is like mostly old people, and like the cultural offerings of a small town are really interesting. Like besides golf or just getting high and walking in the woods, we have all this like amazing like traditional European stuff, you know, like there's like world-class yodeling where I live. So like people from Switzerland will come here and be like, oh, you guys still do that? That's cool. Yeah, that was it. I did 5 minutes. Comedy snacks.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sarah. Yes, give it up for Sarah. Again, check the chat for her article and her link. I'm also a big fan of getting high in the forest, and my golf swing is shit. So I'll give you that for sure. All right, let's move this along here. Your next little comedy snack coming up here for you is a really good friend of mine. Like on the comedy circuit, he's always been so friendly and so welcoming to me, and I'm so happy that he reached out, and I'm more than happy to have him back on the show. Please give it up for Sasha Mark.
What a kind welcome! Thank you so much, Jade. I really appreciate that. Yeah, my name is Sasha Mark, and I think that during this whole COVID situation, I kind of had like a really like weird racist experience. So before it all broke down and everyone was quarantining, I was taking the bus and then I coughed, and then this guy like backed up and he like moved away, and then he said, "Fucking Chinese people." Like that's what he said. I know. So I was like, "What the fuck?" I was like, "Dude, I'm not from China. I, I'm indigenous. I'm from here." And then everybody else in the bus moved back. You know, like a little bit about myself. I became a dad not too while ago. I was a little bit. It's weird, I know. It was also I'm a good person. No, it was honestly by accident, and it was weird because it's like I always made sure that I always took the measures to make sure that didn't happen. I always made sure that I used a condom. Always made sure my partner was on the pill. I only have gay sex, so I was just like, what happened? Uh, so what happened was I became an emergency foster dad in Winnipeg. So that's what I was doing over there. And I'm not always like I wasn't always the best dad because I'm in Vancouver now. Yeah, and it's always really difficult too. I think being a dad was difficult for me because like I never really had a dad growing up. I would say I've had three biggest disappointments in my life right now. Was my dad leaving me at the age of 8. The second being COVID-19 that's happening right now, and third is being I think my sound quality. I think that's pretty bad right now. It's not working right now. Is it good? I don't know.
We can hear you, bud. You're
Okay, good. Yeah. Knock knock.
Who's there?
It's not my dad, but like maybe one day. It's so stupid. It was really fun being a foster dad, though. I had the opportunity to teach my foster kids the games that we used to play growing up as kids. Like the games that we used to play, like Walk Yourself to Walmart. We got to teach them games like like Why Is Mommy Crying? Because you won. Thanks, kid. And I got to teach them games like hide and seek. You guys play hide and seek before?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Fact, my dad is really good at that game. Where are you? I'll get off the dad stuff. So yeah. So I'm a gay man. I think that's very obvious now at this point. And I think that people come out in a variety of different ways. Sometimes people come out face to face. Sometimes people come out, via text message. I got a job at Lush. So I was working at Lush one time, and this customer came up to me, and he was just like, he was kind of cute, but like kind of creepy. So he came up to me, and he was just like, I was showing him the massage bars, and then he was like flirting with me. I was like, okay, this is kind of gross. And he kept like flirting with me as I was showing him the massage bars. And then at one point, he was just like, can you use this massage bar on my dick and then make me come? Like that was pretty much like the cleanest version I can say of it. Like that's what pretty much he said. And I was like, what? So I looked at him and I was like, dude, we're at a Lush. We are at the massage bar section. The facial section's over here. So So I'm a big fan of the scary things. I love scary things in life. I love, horror movies. I love haunted houses. I love being native in Winnipeg. One of my favorite things to do with friends is I like to play with the Ouija board. And I remember one time we were playing the Ouija board with my friends, and we were like asking it very basic questions. And we're like, okay, is there a ghost here? Didn't move. We're like, okay. Ghost, do you have a name? It didn't move. We're like, okay. Are you like a good ghost or you're like a bad ghost? Didn't move. Then I realized we got ghosted. Don't laugh. Stop. Don't laugh at that. That's disgusting. Ew. I didn't have a dad, so I make dad jokes like that. So, So I remember doing this Ouija board session, and I realized that I wasn't going to be okay. Like, this is not a good situation for me. I was playing with all my friends, and they happened to be white. We were doing it in a cabin in the middle of the woods, and I've watched horror movies before, and I'm the brown one. And what happens with brown people in horror movies? We like die. We die first, and it's bullshit, and it sucks every time. So it's like, fuck, I'm the brown one. But I realized that I'm actually going to be okay in this, because they don't cast Indigenous people in movies, so especially horror movies. So I'm gonna be okay in this one. Actually, I think the only horror movie that they've casted us in recently was that one horror movie that came out. What's that horror movie? The News. But all right, that's my time. Thank you,
Yes.
my name is Sasha Mark. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Sasha. Thank you so much, Sasha. Hilarious. Thank you. I love it, and I'm with you on the dad jokes, bud. My next comic, she is absolutely adorable and one of my favorites. She's been so nice to me on the comedy circuit here in Vancouver, and if I'm ever to get a compliment about something, it comes from her, and it really brightens my day. If you check in the chat, she has there's a link there to an awesome podcast that she has called Fat French and Fabulous. So check it out. But it is my pleasure to welcome to you, Jessica Pleasure.
Hello, everybody. Hello, Jay. It's nice
Hi.
to see your face. It's been a long time. I don't remember what people look like because I have face blindness, but I assume that's you. How's everybody's connections doing? I've been severely inconvenienced by everyone being at home and bored on the internet because apparently our telecom infrastructure isn't designed for that kind of load, even here in Vancouver. My podcasting partner had to be evacuated from New York in March and is now based out of her parents' house on an island in rural Nova Scotia, which has a single frail telephone line connecting it to the mainland. So she has to wait until 3 a.m. when everyone else on the island is asleep before she can send me files. We are just plowing as much information as we can through that one cord. And I actually visited her in New York City a while back, which has to be the loudest, dirtiest, greatest place that has ever existed. New York is the financial and cultural capital of the most powerful nation on earth, and there are mountains of garbage on every street corner. Or if you prefer, high-density rent-controlled apartments for low-income raccoons. You know that movie, If These Walls Could Talk? New York is more like, what if an entire city could scream? And while I was there, I went to the 9/11 Memorial, which has a gift shop.
Ooh.
The solemn tribute to the deadliest terrorist attack the world has ever known has a gift shop where you can buy 9/11 themed t-shirts, umbrellas, fridge magnets, and Christmas ornaments.
Oh, God.
They even have these little models of the Twin Towers you can build yourself. Don't get ripped off, though. The little model planes do not come included. Why would they give you the option if they did not want you to role play?
I actually have a lanyard from the 9/11 gift shop, if I can pull it up here in just a minute, once your set is done.
Awesome.
They're delightful, aren't they? New Yorkers are also the friendliest people I have ever met. Don't get me wrong, they are not nice. They're not polite, but they are super friendly. If you are lonely in New York City, just go outside and state an opinion. You can talk to anybody about the weather or the rats or how the weather is affecting the rats. New Yorkers have 2 basic modes. Too busy to blink and totally down for a 15-minute conversation with a complete stranger about zoning restrictions. Vancouver is different. This is not a friendly city. People here are nice. They're polite, but they are not friendly. You can stand another passenger's foot for 10 minutes on the SkyTrain in most times, and they won't say anything. But if you make more than 3 seconds of incidental eye contact, that is assault. Smiling at a stranger's baby, hanging offense. The friendliest interaction I have had with a stranger since moving to Vancouver was last November when an elderly driver hit me with his car. Not hard, obviously, seeing as I'm not noticeably dead. Like, I saw him, he hit me, and then he kept going for another 10 feet while I clung to the front grille of the car. Like, it took a full 3 seconds for him to notice that he was in the process of running over an actual human being. And then we just had this intimate moment where we locked eyes through the windshield. And he smiled at me. And he waved. Like, wearing a pedestrian as a hood ornament was just a normal part of his day. I thought about reporting it to the police, but I wasn't injured, and honestly, the pressure of the bumper was as close as I'd had to a hug in about a year. The warmth of the metal above the engine was almost like a mother's touch. Do you ever get, like, too lonely?
Yeah.
And then you just, like, find yourself curdling up next to the heat vent going, like, is this love? Anyway, I hope you guys are doing nice.
Yes. Oh, thank you, Jess. I definitely have. I curl up sometimes to the radiator like a cat trying to seek some heat. It's that's just the way it goes. Thank you, Jess. That was hilarious. Thank you so much. And there is there's memorial 9/11 Memorial Museum lanyard. Incredible. I can't even believe
Wait,
it.
where?
Wow. I just want to mention quickly, if you do go, if you feel like donating right now, these comedians and us, we're not bringing in an income or anything like that. There is an option to donate, and we will distribute to the comic, or if you want to send it to a specific comic, that's fine. Just go to twitch.tv/Vancouver Comedy. There's a donate button on the screen there, and you can do that. But let's move on to our last comic for the evening. He's coming to us from Toronto, some sort of church architecture going on in the background. He runs the Toronto comedy community on Facebook. If you want to check it out, you can. If you're in the area, you can find all you need there. Give it up for Luke Lindell.
Hey, how's it going? You know, I really enjoyed Jess's set there. What I like this moment when she made a comment about 9/11, and then a voice came randomly from the void, and then there was a promise to see a lanyard, and then we never saw it. What happened?
He just showed it.
Did he? I didn't see the lanyard.
I can bring it back up if you want.
Oh my goodness! I was so wrapped up in like that when he interrupted her that I missed the lanyard altogether.
Here it is. Here it is.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here comes the lanyard. Oh my goodness! Oh,
it's insane. It's upside down now, but you get
definitely worth the wait. Jess, what does that say about people who actually buy the stuff?
I mean, that there we got some sick motherfuckers who want some sick fucking merch.
Exactly. It's one thing to sell it. It's another thing to buy it. By the way, they have a gift shop at the Great Wall of China as well, just so you know. I've been there, and they have one there too. I wanted to talk about this. Man, we're going through this health stuff now. Everybody's into it. I'll tell you what happened. Anybody here have shingles? Everybody ever have shingles? Me, I had shingles. I had shingles in fucking January. That's how my year started off, okay? Everybody's like, oh my God, the year's fucking awful. I had shingles, and I'll tell you what happened. I had it for 8 weeks. I had shingles for 8 weeks.
Oh.
It was nuts. I went to the doctor, and I asked the doctor, like, how long does it normally last? And the answer is, you don't know. That's the answer. You don't know how long it's going to last. And I learned one thing. The pain in shingles is so fucking painful. The pain in shingles, the only person who deserves the pain in shingles is Hitler. That's it. It is the only person. It is so painful. It is so massively painful. I went to the hospital, and when I went to the hospital, man, you know what? I was so upset with the doctors and everything. I wanted a sick doctor. I wanted a doctor who had shingles. I wanted someone who would understand my fucking pain. I was in so much pain all the time. It was crazy. And you know what? When you're really sick, people say these kind of things. They try to commiserate with you. And they'll be like, oh my God. Oh man, my mother had it. She only had it for 2 weeks. That's not helpful. That's not helpful. That's not, how is that helping me? I'm fucking 6 weeks in. That's not good. Or they'll tell you like, oh my God. Oh, well, my father had it. He had it for 3 months. That's also not helpful. And now I have to look on, like, it's just not helpful. The whole thing is not helpful. It's just crazy. And then the thing is, when you go see the doctor, at one point I went to see a doctor, and it's not a common thing, okay? It's not something that happens all the time. So I went to see the doctor, and I don't know if you know, like what happens is you get this rash on your chest or some part of your body. For me, it was on my chest. It was here. And the thing is, it was kind of healed. And I said to the guy, man, I'm having this amazing pain, but my chest is healed. All that's gone. He says, can I see it? He was curious. No, you can't see. Like, what a freak. Like, he just wants, like, I'm not up for, like, display. He just wanted to have a gander at it, just to just have a beautiful look at it. You know what I mean? And the one thing that I learned while I had the shingles was this. A lot of things that took away the pain, the one big thing was the hot bath. Oh, my God, the hot bath. That is the single best invention of our world, the hot bath. You would think that the bath is pretty impressive on its own, but now they put hot water in it. Brilliant. It's genius, pure genius. Whoever invented the hot bath, because I'll tell you what, when you have a hot bath, like, you know what could solve peace? The hot bath. Because when you have a hot bath, an hour later, you don't want to fuck with anybody. You just come out, you're like, I don't know what to do. If they had done that with Hitler, they had put Hitler in a hot bath, he would have come out and gone like, yeah, I still don't like him, but I don't want to do anything. I'll just have a nap now. I'm just going to have a nap. Anyways, so I want off to the next thing. I want to talk about something else. This is another health sort of thing I've been dealing with. Last year I had 2 colonoscopies. Yeah, that's right. I'll tell you what happened. I went for the first colonoscopy, and at the end, the guy says to me, "Oh, you're gonna have to come back." And I was like, "Oh my God, like, what happened? You know, like, what's going on here?" He says, "Well, we didn't get all the way up there." What? Get all the way up there. Get as far up there as you got to get up there. He's making me beg for something I shouldn't be begging for. Get all the way up there. And then, you know, he says to me in an accusatory tone, he says, well, you know, you have a long colon. What? Like, how's that my fault? Get the fucking long tools out. Am I supposed to call ahead of time? Oh, by the way, I'm the long colon freak. I'm coming in. Book an extra half hour. Like, how do I know that? Where are my long colon people at? Anybody here with a long colon? That's right. You don't know. No one knows that. People don't know that beforehand. So I go in the second time. The second time I go in, he's in there doing his thing. And he says to me, by the way, if you want, you can look at it. We have a screen here. No, I don't want to look at it, you freak. I'm trying to make believe this isn't happening. I don't want to look at anything. What are you doing? And then, you know what? I was thinking about it after. I was thinking, like, I'm supposed to be the freak, right? Like, but if you think about it, a doctor, when they go and have their specialization, when they pick their specialization, he chose to do this. He could have chosen to be a brain surgeon. Oh my God, remove tumors. That would be amazing. Or he could have been a heart surgeon, triple bypasses, make people live longer. Instead, he chose to dig up fucking people's asses all day long. And I'm the freak. I'm not the freak. Me and my long colon, we're the normal ones, okay? We're the normal people. All right. I want to talk about a couple more things. I don't know if you guys, at the moment, so we get lots of emails. I have over 50,000 emails unread in my fucking mailbox. And what I've come to realize is I've got to unsubscribe. But the problem with unsubscribing is it's super frustrating. Unsubscribing for these newsletters is like trying to break off with someone who doesn't want you to break off with them. Like, what's going on? Like, why are you making it so difficult? You know what I mean? Like, why is it that when I unsubscribe, your next move is to ask me to resubscribe? That makes no sense. That's like I'm returning a product to the store, and in that moment, you think the best move is to try and convince me to buy the product I'm returning. I don't want it. I'm done. You know what I mean? Like the thing is, it's like, again, it's like being with someone who doesn't understand the breakup. Like, we're broken up. We're done. I'm out of here. Do you guys know what the opt-down is? The opt-down is when you can unsubscribe either to less emails or less frequency, okay? This makes no sense. This is like when someone goes, these people here, like when they go for a job interview and they don't get the job, do they just say to the person, yes, I realize I didn't get the job. However, if I could just maybe I just come in once a week. Maybe I don't talk to the manager. How about that? No, you don't have the job, Cheryl. Get the fuck out of here. We don't want you. We're hiring someone different. Doesn't make any sense. And then what about sometimes they have the one-click unsubscribe. I love that Boom, you're out. And then, though, I have a survey to answer. Why am I answering a survey? Listen, man, we're broken up. I don't want to answer your questions about how much I like your mother or your dress collection. We're done. I'm out of here. Like, I don't know what's going on. You know, it doesn't make any sense. And then at the end of it, you're done. You know, you're done. You've unsubscribed. And then they just want to pour on the guilt. Oh, we feel so bad to see you go. I'm not sad to see me go. I want out of here. I'm done. And then the best part is at the very end, you've unsubscribed. Everything is done. And then a couple hours later, you get an email from them to confirm you've unsubscribed. Why are you emailing me? I didn't want any emails from you. How is this not clear to you? I want no emails. All right, on to the next thing. All right, I wanted to talk about, I don't know if you guys have heard, if you guys are having this in Vancouver, but right now, I think it's all North America. The murder hornets are coming, right? They're coming. You know what I don't like, though? I don't like hornets in general. I don't like hornets. I mean, have you ever seen a hornet with a happy face? They don't have a happy face, those guys. Like, there's not a good-looking hornet. A hornet has a face for mace. That's it. Like, you just got to kill those fuckers, you know? And I'll tell you what I don't like is that the hornets, they're moochers, okay? They come onto your property. They come onto wherever you are, and all they want to do is just take from you. They're like your cousin Kevin, who wants to only know that he's your cousin when he wants to like do some internet scheme. No, Kevin, I'm not interested in figuring out your internet scheme and how we can sell tuna to vegetarians. I'm not interested in doing that. No, thank you. You know what I mean? And then the thing is, what happened with me is they buried a hole into our house, and then they built a nest into the house. And apparently the reason that hornets sting you is they don't like a loud noise, okay? Oh, yeah. I'm sorry that I'm lawn mowing my lawn on my property on my time. Oh, I'm so sorry that, oh, fuck, I'm disturbing you. You know what I mean? You're trespassing on my property. And the thing is, why are you coming trying to kill me? I used to live by a train station, okay? And all the trains were loud. And when they came in, I didn't run down there and kill the train conductor just because they were too loud for me. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? They would be horrible real estate agents. Oh, look, yes, this is a beautiful home. Next door, the neighbors are a bit loud, but don't worry about it. Because if you don't like him, just murder him. No problem. It's not a big deal at all. What the fuck is that? Oh, man. And you know, the other thing is, I'll tell you what I don't like, too, is that they've turned me into a murderer. I don't want to be a murderer, but that's what they've turned me into, okay? When that one hornet stung me that one time, I chased him down like I was part of the mob and he had defaulted on payment, okay? I chased him down and I told him, I said, listen here, man, I'm just not going to kill you. I'm fucking taking out your whole bloodline. I'm taking out everybody, you know what I mean? And that's what I did. My wife and I, we got together, we got raid, and we fucking gassed them. We just gassed them. I was the Hornets Hitler. I just destroyed them. That's it. Like in my neighborhood, when the Hornets see me, they think of me as Hitler because I will kill all of them. That's how I work. And that's what I don't like now. Now I'm a murderer, and I'm into genocide. When it comes to hornets, I'm okay with genocide. That's not good. It's not good. You know what I mean? Anyways, I'll just finish off on this. I want to talk about one more thing. This is a weird thing that I realized. So I'll end on some health thing. I realized this a while ago. I don't have eyebrows. That's weird. Like when I was a kid, I have eyebrows, and I have pictures of me with eyebrows, and yet now I don't have any. I look like a fire survivor, but I've never been in a fire. Like, what's going on with me? It doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? And I went to see a doctor, and I said to him, I was like, hey man, listen, like it's weird. You know, I used to have really hairy legs. I'm losing hair, and then look, my eyebrows are going. And I said, is that some sort of weird skin thing? And he was like, yep. And then he just kept going. He just kept talking as if like, I want to know what's going on. I still don't know what's happening. You know what I mean? And then one time I checked it out in the mirror. I checked it out. And turns out that, you know, as I got older, I realized that, sure, I'll get gray hair. I'll like, things will sag, whatever. But I didn't think that it would sag in my fucking eye socket. Because if I lift up my skin here, there are my eyebrows. There they are, fucking sinking into my skin as I get into my eye socket as I get older. It doesn't make any sense. And so I went and I told my wife because I realized this, that when you have eyebrows is a way of sending like that you're having an emotion to another person. That's how you send the message. So I went to my wife and I said, like, that's pretty upsetting. I can't do that. I can't use my eyebrows to send emotion to people. And she was like, you don't seem upset to me. I was like, well, what about now? Do I seem upset now? All right, that's
Awesome.
my time.
Awesome. Thank you
you
so
very
much, Luke. Yes, Luke. Thank you. I guess you could say your eyebrows are having trouble unsubscribing from your face.
That's right.
Hopefully it's just a one click and you can get them back. Anyway, thank you guys so much, everybody. Comedy Snacks. Thank you, Jessica. Thank you, Sarah, Luke, Sasha, all of you, Tanner, for all the behind the scenes you do. Join us next week right here, same spot, May 28th, next Thursday, for another great episode of Comedy Snacks. Thanks, guys.